Hello, true believers. This is bebotsonly doing another Gundam review, and I'm trying to get these Gundams out of the way so I could just store them forever and forget about them. Right now, I'm just taking them out of storage and do the review and upload and finished. So these are kind of like my filler videos. I know they're not as interesting as my other videos, but there are some people that grew up with them and are interested in them. So, like I said, I like to do a variety just to keep it different, keep it interesting, keep it unique. So this time we have the Sazabi. I put this together while I was in detention. There are two, I was incarcerated in two different places. The first one is like a detention, which is like a temporary hold. And the facilities is just, that's it. It's just supposed to be temporary. But there are people up there, I've known people there that stayed there and served their whole entire time for 7 years. Okay, but this is supposed to be temporary. How they're able to stay there in 7 years, like I said, it's the criminals that pretty much run these prisons. And if you can make the proper arrangements, then you could have your stay there for the entire time. So especially if you're the mayor or the mayor is not the mayor, okay? Which I know at first you want to think it's the mayor and the mayor. He's just it's not really less political. He's the person kind of in charge where the personnel deal with. It's just just a pecking order. So the personnel just deal with one person. So it just says, okay, you're in charge. So if there's any problems, if there's anything needed, or there's anything that needs to be done, the police just talk to the mayor, not the mayor, the mayor, and so it's just one person to deal with. So if you're that person and you have these privileges and you have these responsibilities, and there are definitely a lot of advantages to make your life as comfortable as possible. So I could see why somebody would want to live there or want to do their whole entire stay there of 7 years. That's the longest I ever heard. But I was just there 7 months, then moved on to something uh, medium term. So the detention is the short term, and the place where I went to the next one is the actual medium term. Bureau of Jail Management and Prisons kind of prison. So that's medium term, where 5 years or less while you're waiting for your hearings, that's where you stay. And once you get sentenced, once you get convicted and you get sentenced, obviously if you don't get convicted, you're found innocent, then that ends your stay there. But if you're convicted and if it's 5 years or more, then you get to move to the long-term facility over here, which is in Bilibid Prison, Muntinlupa. And in the medium term, there's only about, I think, 600, 700 people, 700 prisoners, 6 to 700 prisoners. You could probably pack in maybe 800 or more, but it's usually made for 600 or less. But there could be situations, just like in detention. The detention, the temporary one, is designed only for 30 people, the max. But they've had, when I was there, we had up to, during Christmas time, almost 150 people. So people were it was standing room only. You had to like sleep standing up with that many people until they get transferred, and you have to wait for the court orders for that to happen, and it's a slow process. So at that time, I had enough space because I became the mayor there after 2 months. So I was able to create enough space to be able to put these Gundams together, and this is where I had a lot of time where I was doing nothing. So this is what I was doing, putting these things together. I didn't have any time outside, but now I have time to kill. And like I said, these things gave me something productive to do. So I was able to not really smuggle it in. I didn't. I mean, I had my the tools to be able to put it together. I mean, they're really not allowed, but it's kind of like in that gray area. But since I was the mayor, I was allowed to kind of well, I have it, but let's keep it hush hush. Let's keep it discreet, because monthly there's like a search, and how I do is how I usually get around it is I usually give my tools when I know it's usually at the beginning of every month. So during that week, I'll give my tools to the boss when she's visiting. I told her, can you keep my tools so they don't get confiscated during the search, and then so they'll confiscate contraband. So that's how I was able to get around it. And then afterwards, I get my tools back, and then for a month, I'll put these things together. So what we have here, so back to the review, what we have here is the Sazabi Ver. It's a bootleg, and it's made by Daban. So we'll get to the box. As you could see, here's the box, and it is massive. It is gigantic. Okay, I can barely fit it in the frame. It's made by Daban. It's a Chinese knockoff bootleg company, and they use pretty much the same art, except they use Chinese lettering, and it's a Ver, so it's a version Ka. Don't really exactly know what that means, but it's supposed to be an updated or better version. And I just want to show you how massive the box is. This is the perfect grade strike that I did the previous review, and look how much bigger it is. This is a master grade, and this is the perfect grade 160 scale. This is just a 1/100 scale. If you look at 1/100 right there, or here's a better one, 1/100 scale. Well, this is a 160 scale, and the box is still bigger by a few inches, as you could see. So it is a lot of plates inside. So let's look at the continue the review. So here's what it looks like on the side. And then there's some good pictures of it on the side. See what it looks like with its gun, the shield, and all its accoutrements or open. You can see his shoulder armor open, side shoulder, his skirts, front skirts, that all opens up, especially the back of his leg. Look at that thing open up like so. Sorry for the reflection of the lighting. And he's got these booster tanks, and then for his fin funnels. So if I get any of these names wrong, somebody correct me in the comments. I don't think any hardcore, die-hard Gundam fans are actually watching this review, but that's what it looks like in action. So that's what the box looks like. Next is, let's get to the instruction manual. So the instruction manual is pretty complete. If you put Gundams together for a while, like I have, they're pretty easy to follow. They're for someone who has medium experience, this is not something I would do right away. You have to have some advanced experience, but if you have medium experience and you just kind of do it out of the box, it's no big deal. If you can follow instructions, it's no big deal. If you put models together, it's no big deal. But here's some beautiful art you can appreciate here. The anime, they're able to design it to reality. Can you imagine seeing something like this as a drawing, then turning it into reality? So here's some more schematics. So I think it's from a movie, Char's Revenge. I can't remember seeing it such a long time ago, but here's the actual model unit in action with all the stickers in it. And so he's got a lot of water slide decals. Here's what the back skirt looks like when it's open. Lots of detail, lots of color separation. Love it. Look at that. You got the yellow, the gray, the red, the two-tone red. So two types of gray, two-tone gray. So I'll show you an actual model itself, but just kind of show you some of the pictures to emphasize. Look at this. You got the fin funnels here in the back. It's opened up. And you got this little ball over here with the pilot. I think this is when they can, like I said, I haven't seen it, but this is where they eject and you hold the little ball. So more fin funnels. And here's the axe, or you could turn it into a lance, or you can turn it into a lance axe, or this double sided axe like this. So just to show you the picture. So the pictures are great because they show you the possibilities. Because like I said before, that the plastic is very brittle. So here it shows all the plates. So if you want to take a look at it, pause that. And looks like over here they start out with the body, which I usually start out with the legs, like most people now they do. They say usually start with the legs so you can work your way up. So over here they started with the body. So if you want to see what the instruction manual look like, so go ahead and pause, but I'll just breeze right through it. And I enjoyed putting this together because it's something so different. I even enjoyed putting these hoses, these what is it? These things, these little hose things over here. So that was tedious, lots of parts, but I enjoyed all of it. Here's the head, and then the arms. You can see that there's a lot of detail. The hands, these are articulated hands. They're kind of cool, but I can see the argument why people would rather have the permanent hands or the trigger hands or the fist hands or the open hands, because they look better and they're less likely to fall apart. And these things are so brittle, and you got these tiny little joints that are just ready to break. So at least with already fixed hands, you don't have to worry about that. So with the fixed hands, the guns are easier to pose. You just clip them on together versus having to tab it on and getting the fingers around it, and definitely gonna break it. So here's the waist. Here's the waist already. And now you get to do the right leg, left leg. So they did like the legs last. So the legs also have a lot of detail, have a lot of parts. So let's keep looking through what the instruction manual look like. As you can see, it's a big book. It's twice the size of the books that I normally use to. I think it has even more pages than the Perfect Grade because it has so many parts. So as usual, the big advantage of these bootlegs is the price. You're talking about a third. You could buy 3 of these for 1 original. So you can mess up with one or use another one for spare parts, or you can kit bash and you can customize one and then do one out of box and do another different customization of another one. So like I said, about a third of the price, depending on where you go. I did a review when I bought these. Actually, that channel where the review was deleted, so which I talked about the prices, and so I can't you can't click on that. So the best thing to do is just and the average I think is 1/3 is from what I remember. So here's the gas tanks, and then over here we have the accessories. You got the shield, you got the axe, the beam axes, the beam lance, and here's like the rifle over here. It looks like the pulse rifle from Aliens, and here's the long rifle or sniper rifle, and here's the shield. So the shield looks nice also. So the rifle looks nice also. Everything looks nice. And then over here we got more how to attach these. This attachment is pretty stiff. I tried to take it off, but and then over here you can see how the LED is installed, but I didn't install it. Here's the a backpack. Oh, so it shows you how to open it up. So you lift it up and then open, and then I don't know what happens. What's this one over here? But you have to follow the procedure or you're gonna break it. Same thing with here. Oh, and then this one the shield hooks onto the shoulder, it looks like. So that's, and then over here, if you have the bazooka, I think there's another Gundam. Oh, it's not the Sazabi. So the one before this, the Sinanju. There you go. Forgot it. You have the Sinanju. You could actually take Sinanju's gun or bazooka and attach it to this. So you have this super bazooka Sinanju. But I didn't get. I've never gotten Sinanju. Not a big fan of it because I didn't like how it just looks so organic. It just the spikes on it just kind of turned me off the wrong way. But I would actually buy a Sinanju if I had the opportunity just to get this gun to get this cool grenade launcher rifle, like shotgun, kind of like in Predator how Billy put like a taped or jerry rigged the shotgun and an M4 together like that. So that looked kind of cool. So I would get the Sinanju just to get that look. I think that's an awesome look how they can attach it together. But instead of putting it together, they want you to do it separately so you can see to kind of give you a benefit for having both the Sinanju and the Sazabi. And over here is the stickers. So you could see there was a lot of stickers. And for some reason I didn't put all of them. I have some left over. So putting on the stickers was a lot of fun because it's water decals. I love water decals versus the regular stickers, like versus something like this. I don't really like this because number one, they don't stick on that well and they peel off after a while. And two, you can kind of see, this one's pretty good. You can't see the borders on this, but I just don't like how it has that plastic look. Yes, it is plastic, but I don't want the plastic look. So this one is done pretty well, how it has its borders, but for some reason I didn't put these on, and I don't know if in the instruction book, I'd have to look for it here, how, where, and why. I don't think I see it. So I got a bunch of extra ones, and then this one, for some reason I didn't put it on the long rifle. Supposed to be there, but I think because I was just gonna use this one, I think this looks kind of cooler, and I think this is too long and I didn't like how it kind of drags, but I just put it in storage anyway. I just kind of pose it once and then be done with it. So as you can see, there's a lot of little tiny stickers, but we'll get to the so that finishes up the instruction book. Let's get to the actual model unit itself. But before we do that, let's get to the accessories. So I already went through the stickers. I love the water decal stickers. I like how they're adjustable, they're easy to put on. Not like a sticker, once you put it on, I hate is the rub-on transfers. God, I hate those so much. If I see a rub-on transfer, I just like throw it away or set it on fire, because especially with bootleg knockoffs, you rub it on and you try to peel it off, and even though I rub it and go over it again several times, not all of it comes off. There's still pieces of it that stay on the plastic, and it doesn't rub on that great for me anyway, especially with bootlegs. So let's show you what comes with the accessories. Here's the gun. Like I said, this reminds me of the one from Aliens with Sigourney Weaver. So you could appreciate the water decals just to add some detail to it. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that. I spent like maybe a whole day, maybe 2 days or maybe more, because I was just trying to just enjoy and make the experience last as long as possible. So I like how it's two colors. Look how it's got the red right here, and then it's got the continuing red over there. So it looks awesome. And look at the detail. Look at the detail here in the back, where the ammunition goes. But I don't think this comes off, or this part comes off. I don't think it does. It's just one big solid piece. I don't think there's anything that moves in here. So nope, nothing. So I don't think this even slides forward to do like a slide action, shotgun type of action. Nope, it doesn't. So let's look at the other gun. This is supposed to be his main gun. And like I said, the stickers are over here. You could add it, but for some reason I didn't. I think maybe like I said, it might be because it's too long. If you look, it's kind of it kind of drags on the ground, and it's a little bit difficult for him to hold because of this butt stock over here. But let's take a look at it. As you can see, it's not as detailed when it doesn't have its decals like this one, but you could put it on there. It's right there. So I think this part moves. So to accept the shotgun or the bazooka to go underneath it. So I'd have to look at the manual. I don't want to. Oh, there you go. So it opens up like that. Then you can insert the other. But other than that, I don't think it does anything. Then just sit there. I don't think there's any moving parts. There's only this red part over here. Other than that, it's supposed to look like an M16. Wait, I think this part moves over here. Yeah, this part moves. But it's not that tight. So it's supposed to be like a sight, and there's this red part over here. Then you got this hole over here where the hand is supposed to tab. So there should be, if you're looking here in this hand, there should be a tab that's broken. So there's a tab over there, and as you can see, it broke there because it's over here. I think what happened was when I was finished with this and I had the boss take this home, the hero opened it up, and then while he was handling it, oh, and this even moves. This does articulate a little bit like that to give space. I think it came off like that. As you can see, broke off. But you could fix that. I think it'd be fixable. So there, I think what I did was I glued it. I think that's what I did. I glued it so it was permanently in his hand. And if you're moving it around and you're trying to, and maybe he didn't know that I glued it, and he was trying to take it off to put this one, and it broke off. And same thing with the side skirt. So side skirt over here, as you can see, has this little peg over here. You got this big huge part. Okay, it's like half the size of his body, and it's got this little peg over here. So same thing. Actually, I did this. I broke this while I was putting some pieces that fell apart. I was actually trying to put in this side skirt. It was off for some reason, and I was trying to push it together, and I was holding on to the back for support, and I ended up breaking this off. So if you don't know where to put your hand for support, and I probably was just holding it like this, and instead of just holding it somewhere not on the back skirt. Anyway, that should be easy to fix. You just probably drill a hole and put a peg and hole in there and glue it together permanently, and then that's it, so it won't move anymore. But that's the big disadvantage. So let's go back to the accessories. It comes with 2 beam sabers. And I was gonna say that's the big disadvantage with bootlegs, is that their fit and finish is, and the main problem is the quality of the plastic. It's very brittle. But then again, the engineering that they do doesn't help. And then over here you have your beam. Your beam lance over here, but you can take those off and make it into a shorter beam axe, and then you can take this apart and put it on each side in like a double-sided beam axe. So that's the accessories that it comes with. And also it comes with an LED light, but like I said, these LED lights, they don't really shine that much. It's supposed to shine right in the eye, but you can barely see that. So it's like there's a green sticker in there, so I just prefer to put a green sticker inside there, then clear this light where the battery dies, or you can barely see it unless it's dark. And this little pilot ball, so if they eject, then they kind of got this little hamster ball that they're in. So it's kind of neat. It's kind of a, if you want to do a diorama, it has that as an option where it's kind of holding it in his hand. So I think that's what in the anime movie or TV series, they have them kind of floating in these balls, or the pilots are in their hamster ball. So that's what it reminds me of. So let's go back. So let's go finally to the unit itself. So I apologize, I broke this off, but it's a pretty easy fix. So like I said, the main problem of the plastic is it's very brittle. You just look at it and it's ready to fall apart. I tried to take the shield off because it was kind of too much weight on the side, and it's on there pretty tight. And if I tried to manipulate it, I know I'm gonna break something else. I already broke the back skirt. The I haven't even finished the review, and this rifle has already. Now I know why I didn't put the sticker on the long one, because I already glued this one on, and I go, why bother putting the sticker on this one, because I'm never going to use it because I already have this one glued on permanently. That was the look I was going to achieve, because like I said, I like this gun better because it was the Aliens type of gun, pulse rifle with just the shield. And that's how I was going to pose it if I was going to take it out of storage. But as you could see, there's already things that are already broken on it. But let's just look at the beauty of the model. And so enough about the negative here. Let's talk about the positive. Like I said, number one, it's a cheap price. And number two, it does a good job of almost 90% of the original. And as you can see, look at the stickers. I mean, the decals, the water slide decals. I really love, without it, I think it would look so plain, but look at how it's got the little, even these little, yeah, I could focus on it. Focus on this. Oh, there you go. So you can barely notice them, but they're there, and they definitely complete the look of your Gundam with these water slides. So over here you got this SO1, you got this SO1 over here, and then you got this big SO1 over there, and then over here you've got the big SO1 over here also. So here are the back cap skirt. And I'll tell you, so look at the color separation. So look at the different colors that are actually here if you look at it. So you got you got the water slide decals in white, then you get this gray, and then you got this two tones of red. You got this darker, deeper red, and you've got this lighter candy apple red. And look how it actually is the gap. There's no gaps. As you can see, it's pretty tight. Look at the seams. There's hardly any gapping. So when I was putting this together, you can barely see the gaps. I was pretty impressed how it came together like this. Now the problem is, okay, you see there's a little gapping over there, but I think because I was just moving it around, but you can make it go look like this where there's no gapping at all. Okay, the problem is I don't want to open it up so you could see all the boosters inside. But let's go ahead and kind of tilt and turn. So here's the booster tank. So there's a lot of things going on with this thing. But the best thing to probably do is just to here. So just look at it with how it looks with the booster tank and the fin funnels in the back. So before I take it off, so we could review it by itself. So let's do a complete 360 here before we go into the individual pieces or the individual areas. So there's a lot of things going on. Okay, so first thing let's take a look at is the feet. Okay, and this thing is heavy. It's back heavy because of the backpack, so you gotta pose it to lean forward to compensate for it. And he's kind of leaning towards his shield because of the weight and doesn't have the gun. But let's take a look at the feet. Let's look at the bottom. As you can see that they've got the same thing going on. There's like 3 colors going on, 4 colors going on over here. You got 2 shades of gray, 2 shades of red, and the gray. And these actually, these right here actually, I think flip open to be claws. It looks like they do, but I'm never gonna try. I think there's another one here. So they're like spikes. So, and these toes actually articulate, and appreciate the little sticker there, and appreciate the gray coming out inside there, and then appreciate the grays coming out in here. And over the other fourth color over here is the, like I said, there's two shades of gray. Look, there's this light gray over here, and then there's this dark gray over here. And then over here is you got here for the boosters inside, the lining inside the exhaust is the yellow. So, and then look at this huge piece over here on the side. Okay, so it's got the gray and coming out in the middle, and then you got the yellow, and you got all these boosters. So these things open up so you can see. So you got the light gray inside, or kind of like the silver gray inside. So lots of details going on inside there. So you can open this up. And then let's get to the knee. So it's actually double jointed. It rotates over this joint over here. Sorry, I don't think it's double jointed. No, it's not, just single jointed. But as you can see, there's this bottom part is so bulky and heavy that there's gonna be this thing. One of the major complaints about this thing is it's a brick. It looks nice, it looks good, it's got a lot of things going on, but it just stands there. And in terms of posing, where it does the kicking of where the shards kick, there's no way you can pose this thing to. I mean, you can a very not a very good attempt of posing it. So look at the shield duck out. So it's got the different colors also. You got the gray, you got the black, you got the yellow of the sticker sheet, and then you got the little details of it, the little don't step here kind of signs. So the gray, and let's look at the inside. Not much, is like one big solid piece of gray, and it attaches to the arm like this through this adapter. And you could also, I think, rotate that and stick it on here somewhere on the shoulder. So let's get to the waist area. Nothing much going on with the leg, I don't think. So there it is from the back. So you can see that, you see how there's like a big hole for where the side skirt over the back skirt is, and it's supposed to be that peg over there. So I broke that. But let's get to the waist area. So you got these side skirts, same thing. These side skirts actually open up. But as you can see there's hardly any gapping, but you could see where it's supposed to open. So to reveal more boosters, this thing is so heavy. It's like a Mustang. It's very heavy. That's why it needs a lot of boosters, but it's not very maneuverable or agile. Okay, versus like a Supra or an NSX, which is like lighter. And so you got a lot of weight over here, so you compensate for it by having boosters and having extra tanks. I would prefer something lighter with something with more agility. But this thing, it kind of lumbers around. That's why it needs these little things to protect it. So that's the idea anyways. So I like this scuba hose thing. And then over here you got the chest. That part in the middle actually opens up to reveal the pilot. And then you got these hoses over here, a detail around the neck. So let's get to the hands over here. So you can see they're articulated hands. And yeah, this thing opens up also. The arm opens up, so you can see where the thing attached. So that's pretty solid, this attachment right there. So if you stick something there, 3 points of attachment. I know I'm going to break one of those if I try to put something in and out of those things. And here you can see the tricep or the shoulder boosters. So that's what it looks like inside. And they open up also, so to reveal, I think, more boosters. So this thing's got boosters galore. And love how, look at this one over here. So you got all 4 colors being represented right here. You got the gray, you got the yellow, you got the two tones of red. All you're missing is a dark gray actually. So dark gray would actually look like this more. So that's in there actually right here. So that's the dark gray. So beautiful in terms of detail. Love it in terms of like all the little booster packs. And then you got this complete backpack at the back. Let's look at the backpack. You got this big, huge, that's articulated. You can move that around. You could actually take that off. It's like in a ball joint. And this thing, as you can see, it opens up to reveal these little fin funnels. Maybe I'll take one out so you could see what it looks like. So here's the backpack. And I don't know if I can do it by one hand, but this actually the back skirt. This actually opens up, as you can see in the picture. This little piston opens up like that. And then look at all the detail right there. So look, the two tones, and look how and then I like this here. You got the little gray pieces coming through, and then you add the decal around it to emphasize it. And then over here you got the yellow and the gray and the two tones of red. Love that color combination. Look at the detail they put in here in the back. Even this yellow boosters, even though you can't see it unless you kind of lift it up, but you won't be able to see it unless you're looking right from underneath it. So lots of detail. So, but if you are, then you can see this yellow and these details on the inside. So it looks like this. Even has these kind of vents. I don't think I put any decals in here because what for? Because it's over here is where you're going to see most of the action. So decal there, decals over the little gray pieces right there. Nothing much anywhere else, but that's enough to kind of add some detail. So let us see if I have to do everything one-handed because I don't have a tripod or anything like that. I had one with my Canon that Michael B gave to me, but let me see if I can get this thing off with one hand. I didn't put it on all the way tight because I didn't want to break it, because I'm just gonna take it off anyway and then put it in storage afterwards. Eesh. So that's what it looks like. So even some detail there, some stickers there. Stickers there, pinstriping there. So I had a lot of fun putting these stickers on, especially even here. There's like all these little, that's like 2, 3, 4 separate stickers right there. There's 3 separate stickers right there at the tip of that, the pinstriping, just to add detail, because it looks pretty boring without it. And so it looks from here, it looks just like the original. And hold on, see if I could take out one of these cones, one of these. So you're supposed to go up and out and separate. Never mind. They're in there pretty tight, so I'm worried if I don't do it properly. But as you can see, this is supposed to open up, and it's just minimal gapping. So it's pretty much got a little bit of nubs over there. As you can see, the nubs are minimal. Even over here, the nubs are minimal. I mean, there's expert modelers out there that can take care of these nubs, but they're supposed to be covered. Here's some more nubs over there. So deal with those nubs and deal with these lines over here. I forgot what they're called. Somebody in the comments will say. But the way I would fix this, I would just probably drill a hole in there, and then drill a hole in there, and fashion a peg with one of the plastic pieces over here, and then just glue it right there, so it's there permanently. It won't move, but this thing is for display only anyway. So that's not really hard to fix. And same thing with this one. You just kind of remove it and then glue it back in its hand. And there you go. Or you just don't pose him. You can just pose him without any weapons and he'll be just fine. He just stands there without any, because I have them leaning forward because of the backpack was so heavy. All right, so let's get to the rest of the, so let's get to the head here. So the head is very nicely detailed. You can see the eyes. And yeah, this green sticker, it's okay. I prefer like a green clear part, or a clear part with a green in it, but it's good enough. So as you can see, I put the 3 decals over there. Here's his antenna. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good from the back. I like it. So I like the design of the head, and like I said, I like this, and I enjoyed putting it together because it's so different from because when you put together the Gundams like this, it just gets repetitive after a while. It's mostly the same thing, but they change a little bit here and there. But this thing is completely different design. That's why I like I like getting some of the bad guys. So just to kind of, so I don't, because I'll get bored of putting together Gundams, and this one is like the color is so different, the separation is so different, everything is so different about it. It's such a new experience that I enjoyed it very much. But the big downside is it's got all these features and articulations, but in terms of posing it, you could just pose it like this, where it's just standing like that. There's no other dynamic poses where you could say it's running, it's kicking, it's walking, it's aiming. You can't even aim and shoot. You can't even aim with this thing. You can't put the other hand over together and have this thing aim. It's just that impossible to. It just stands there like a brick. So that's a big downside of it. But like I said, it looks beautiful. Do I still recommend it? Absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of unique because I forgot size comparison time. So over here I have this little cutting board over here, and here's the inches. Oops. If you look, where the heck the inches go? So here's inches. And if you just look, it's probably about 9 something inches. And then over here we have the 1/44 scale Trans Am Mixia. You can see how tiny that is. Over here we have the 1/100 no grade Type F Estrella. You see how that looks. And then over here we still have the perfect grade 160 scale Strike Gundam. See how big that is. I mean, it's still pretty big. It's almost it's not really, but almost. I just want to show you how massive he is, and with all his accessories. So in terms of accessories, if you like a lot of accessories, then you'll definitely love this because it's complete. Look at this. Got the backpack. This kind of got repetitive after a while. You could do it 6 times, but it was okay. When you're in prison, repetitive is, so it makes the day go by fast. Normally in prison, how time is relative. One hour feels like one day feels like 1 week, 1 week feels like a month feels like a year over there. But when you're putting a model together, it doesn't feel like you're in prison. It feels like you're just at home putting it together. So that was what was wonderful about this. And I had like this stock of Gundams that I was collecting over the years that I just never had any time to put together. But while I was in prison, I was able to put it together. And this is the finished product. So even if I wasn't in prison and if I had time to kill, then I still would get this. I still would recommend it. I still would enjoy putting it together. Like I said, it's just so time consuming. You're talking about a week where you would just be focusing on even the stickers took several days, and the accessories, because there's so much that it would just take a long time. And I enjoyed it because, like I said, it's so different, and I like the price. The downside, like I said, is just it doesn't move. The plastic is very brittle. So several things have already been broken on it. So that's why I don't move it, because if I even try to take out these fin funnels, I can see that I'm gonna break the brittle plastic inside, and there's just really no point of breaking anymore when you get the idea already. I mean, there's other people over here that have done many reviews with originals and do the articulation. So just imagine. So just check those out. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to share my experience, actual in hand, what I can actually produce with it, even in prison with my limited skills and resources and abilities. And I was able to put it together just nice, and I think it looks perfect. So just be careful yourself. So if you're gonna pick up one of these, enjoy it, but keep in mind that it's very fragile. Other than that, like I said, go out there, get one, and enjoy it. If you have any other questions or comments, please leave a like, and definitely hit that subscribe button. It's slow going, but I think currently I have like 85 subscribers. So yippee, my first month. So hopefully in 3 to 6 months it'll have 1,000 subscribers, and we'll get this thing monetized, and we'll be back in business. Anyway, this has been my review of the 1/100 scale Daban bootleg of Neo Zeon Mobile Suit Sazabi Ver. Hope you enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. And thanks everyone for watching. This is bebotsonly.